Hi, Christine. Thank
Hi,
you.
Deborah.
Hi, thank you so much for actually offering to be on my inspirational stories series. I'm just thrilled to have you because if anyone can give inspiration to people watching it, it's going to be you. So you are in sunny Miami,
Yeah.
and I'm in cold Cleveland. But anyway, so I'm
Good to
just
be
going to
with
let
you.
you introduce yourself to
Okay.
the viewers. So you
Okay.
can take it.
So my name is Christine Handy, and I'm the author of the book Walk Beside Me. I'm also a mother, a model, a motivational speaker, a nationally recognized humanitarian, and I'm getting my master's degree at Harvard University right now in creative writing and literature. That's the small bio.
Very impressive, Christine. That's very impressive. And we met through my daughter, who
Yes.
is a television personality on WKYC up here in Cleveland, the Tegna Network. And you actually were interviewed by her in the studio, weren't you?
Yes. Like 2 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and I was the Cleveland Person of the Week, or I can't remember what they called me, but yeah, I flew in for the interview and it was great. It was lovely to meet your daughter. And it was also great to be in Cleveland. I'd never been there before.
So she thought about hooking us up only because one of my specialty areas also is breast cancer. And
Right.
I have done courses. I've taught physical therapists on breast cancer because it's not really something that we get a lot of in school. And I was part of the team that actually started the breast cancer rehab program at Metro Health Medical Center. So, so that's how we kind of got connected. And I'm just so grateful that we did because you're a very inspiring person. So I'm going to let you take it from
Thank
there.
you. Well, Deborah knows a little bit about my story. She's reading my book now, so she'll know more. But I was diagnosed with cancer in 2012 after I discovered a lump in my breast. But that was after I had had about a year of doctor's appointments, surgeries, infection in my arm, and also I was bullied by a doctor. So that kind of changes my story a little bit. Because I actually have a fused arm right now. And the reason it was fused is because there was negligence in the medical field when I had an infection in my arm. And so my arm had just been fused and bone grafted, and I was in a cast from my fingertips to my shoulder. And it's a crazy story, but I was in a hotel room in New York for my 6-week post arm fusion checkup. And I was trying to figure out a life now with a fused right arm because I'm right arm dominated, and trying to understand that at the age of 41. And for the previous 7 months, I had really washed my body with pouring soap over my shoulder, liquid soap. And the reason I did that was because I was in cast for about 7 months. And so my arm would be out of the shower and I'd be pouring soap over my shoulder. And so I was at this hotel in New York, and the hotel didn't have liquid soap. So I had to take, with my cast outside of the shower, I had to take a bar of soap and try to wash my body. And I felt a lump. And I can't even imagine what would have happened if I had continued to use liquid soap, how many months later. And anyway, so then I went on to have 28 rounds of chemotherapy. And well, since that time, 21 surgeries. But recently, I had an infection in my left breast, which became a MRSA infection. And so they had to excavate the entire breast cavity, which is when Deborah and I met, because she was teaching me on how to, like, for a while, I couldn't even lift my arm. And she was teaching me ways to rehab my chest, to get my arms and my chest and my whole upper torso, how to really work again without pain. And that took several months. And so fortunately we got to meet, and she got to hear part of my story. So that's just a little bit of it, but it's been a wild ride.
And so, I think what what I really would like to know, Christine, as I'm sure a lot of my viewers that might be dealing with pain,
Yes.
is how do you, and you still have pain, you
So
still have
I've
pain.
Yeah, I've been in pain for 10 years. My breast cancer surgeries obviously were temporary pain, and those have all gone on, and I've healed from those. I've actually had technically four mastectomies, which sounds so odd, but it was really, I had a mastectomy when I had cancer on the left side. I had a mastectomy on the right side as a prevention. And then these past 6 months, I've had both my breast cavities excavated because of a MRSA infection. And so the insurance company labels those as mastectomies, but all that pain is gone. The only reason I'm in chronic pain has nothing to do with cancer. It has to do with my fused arm. And I believe there are, at least I was told, there are 32 different functions in your wrist related to your hand. And I have zero because it's completely fully fused. They do partial fusions and they do full fusions. Mine's fully fused. So I'm in chronic pain. I've been in pain since 2011. And it's interesting to be in pain and to live in pain, because in this world that we live in, with the medicine that they have and surgeries that we can do, which of course I've been through chemotherapy. I know what kind of medication they have that can save your life. You can't imagine that you could be in pain and they could do nothing about it. I've had 9 surgeries on my arm, and I've had a cadaver Achilles tendon put into my wrist to act as a pillow, as a cushion, to try to help with the pain. And nothing they've done has actually worked, although they've tried. I've done nerve blocks, I've done cortisone shots. And the one thing that I won't do is depend on pain medication. If I find myself in a position where I'm just grinding my teeth and pulling out my hair and I can't get through the day, I'll take some Advil, which doesn't really touch the pain. But pain medication is not a solution for me. And I've been to pain management doctors who that's the first thing they want to give you. And I don't understand.
No, that's true. That's true.
I don't understand that mentality. I work, I have a family, I have a job, I have a couple jobs, and I'm not going to live my life on pain medication. That doesn't mean that I should choose to live in pain either. Those are very different things. I've just recently been to a trauma arm surgeon in Miami, and he's given me some kind of practical tools throughout the day to do, changing my computer screen and the height of it, and little things like that. But I'm not going to completely change my life. He would prefer I don't do certain sports and things like that. The things that I choose to do in my life, like type, I'm a writer, and the things that the choices that I make to emotionally lift me up, I really depend on those. And to take those out of my life would be a mistake. So in order for me to live in this chronic pain, I meditate. I always say to myself, my mantra is faith over fear. I say that all the time. I say it throughout the day. I continually say it when the pain gets to be just too much. I'll sit in a quiet place and I'll just say faith over fear, faith over fear. And sometimes, you can do little tricks, like you can massage it. And, there's little ways that throughout the day I can try to help with the pain. But it's really your emotional and your mindset is the only way, in my opinion, to get through the pain. And that takes a lot of practice and it takes daily work. But I truly believe you can overcome it, which of course I know that to be true because I have.
So it sounds like mindset and meditation and continuing to try to live as full of a life.
Yes.
As you possibly can, because that's giving you reward.
Yeah. That's the emotional part, right? Like,
right.
If I had to change my life completely and I had to stop typing, which I think some doctors would say I should, and I'm a writer, and I've used those voice control, mechanisms to help me write, which they don't really seem to work for me. But I don't want to change my life to fit the pain. I want to accommodate the pain, right? I'm in pain, but I also don't want to change my life because that's the emotional part to me. That's the gifting that comes back to me. So there's a fine line between letting the pain control your life and you controlling it. And I want to make sure that I'm very clear on that. I have control over it because I don't let it control me.
So you're the captain of the ship.
I am the captain of the ship. And I'm not saying it's not a simple solution. It's taken me years to get here. But I'm not going to let my life be dictated by the pain. Instead, I understand the pain. I'm in tune with the pain, so to speak. And like I said, I have a mantra and I do everything I can to get out of pain without being on pain medication. And it's a daily activity. But I also helping other people helps me get through my pain, because I think my pain's not going to be wasted. If I can inspire, if I can give somebody else hope, then my pain won't be wasted. And that helps me get through the pain.
So if you find an activity or something that is new that
Yeah.
really makes your pain worse, then you just decide whether it's worth it or not. It sounds like, is that?
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. I love to walk. My book is called Walk Beside Me. I've walked probably around the world if you add up all the miles. And walking gives me a lot of pain in my arm. And that is because of the swinging. And so I've adjusted. I haven't stopped walking, but now I wear a sling every time I walk. And and if I go outside and go for a walk and I forget my sling, within 5 feet, I realize I can't take this walk without my sling, and I'll go back home and get it. So that's an adjustment that I've made in order to keep the activity that gives me a lot of emotional well-being.
So that's a great example. That's
Yeah.
that's great. So yeah, that's your problem solving.
Well, in typing, for instance, because I'm a writer, and in order to type, like we normally type like this, I have to go like this with my shoulder. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a wrist, and so my doctor taught me a couple years ago, just if I'm writing and I'm spending a lot of time on my computer, to take every hour, take 10 minutes off.
Yeah.
So I'll write for an hour and I'll take 10 minutes off. So it's really, I'm not giving up my life. I'm modifying it in a way that I'm still in control of it. And again, there are days where the pain just confuses me. Like, why am I in so much pain? Why is this happening to me? That kind of poor me thing. And I just turn it around really quickly. And I just say, okay, this is my reality. And how am I going to use that to help somebody else today? And I really use it as a fuel to help other people. In order for me to lead, I always believe that people need to serve. And so I use my pain as a serving guide to other people to say, there is always hope. And it's your mindset, it's your mentality. And it takes a lot of grit and grace to do it. But I'm a witness to it. I know it, and I know it can happen.
Well, Christine, I want to say that now we all know why you're a motivational speaker. And so I want to say thank you very, very much. And I mean, this has been so inspiring. Are there any, I mean, it was just beautiful. Is there any last parting words you want to say?
I think if you come to a point where the doctors say, there's nothing we can do, you're going to be in pain. I think that that's not a death sentence. I think that there's always hope. And I think that you have to say to yourself, I can handle this, and I can control it the way I'm going to control it, and take charge of it. And, that's kind of what I've done with my life. Nobody has taught me that. I've kind of taught myself that. And there are days that it's harder than others, but every day I wake up and I do remind myself that my faith is over my fear. And that's how I live my life.
Well, thank you again so very much. Get Christine's book. It's wonderful. It's inspiring. Yeah, it's everywhere. You can get it anywhere.
Right anywhere. And I'm on social media. ChristineHandy.com is my website, and Christine Handy.
And I'll tag you in the post. But yeah, absolutely follow Christine.
And reach out to me if anybody has any questions. I'm accessible, and I love to answer questions about this. I'm very passionate about helping people with pain, because it's a life changer. It's you have to modify your life.
Okay. Well, thank you again. Thank you. And thank you all for joining, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.